first met Tim at a lip sync contest in Westminster, Maryland. That's where we're from.
The thing with Tim was he had done a song with his two sisters. And even back then, it's like you could just sort of tell that he's one of those ultra talent type guys.
Yeah, I was like doing the Ray Charles part, and I had like a little keyboard I was pretending to play, pretending to be blind. It was a thing, you know. My mom coached us. She was like, oh, you got to do it this way.
I might have been 8 and Sam was 5. We'd been practicing for this thing for a whole year. We did Guns N' Roses with Patience.
What I remember probably more than that was just us getting together and playing music and just sharing musical stuff, you know, as basically little kids, you know.
When I was 8 years old, and then for that Christmas, I got my guitar, and then Ryan got his bass.
He was a great drummer even then, not just for a little kid. Like he could play, and so we used to stand outside of his window. He was on the second floor, and we would just call up requests and just listen to him drum them. And you could always know he was playing the song, right? Like you could sing the song in your head, and his drum beat was right there.
I think the first thing we ever did together was like a middle school talent show.
And then we would just practice like nearly every day. You know, Tim would come over there and we would just practice those all through kind of middle school and all through high school. We would just practice and play.
And from that point on, it was the three of us, me, Ryan, and Tim, in a band together since from then until we came up here when I was 17.
The New Windsor Inn.
The New Windsor Inn.
It's a pretty rough spot called the New Windsor Inn.
Your typical dive bar in small town Maryland, pretty redneck place. But for some reason we wound up playing there like 2 or 3 nights a week from 10 to 2, and then we'd still get up for school the next day.
And it was a bar. I mean, it was like a weird, like, country-ass dive bar. Yeah, it was not a place that underage kids should be playing gigs, but somehow that was like our place. That was the main place that we played all the time, was the New Windsor Inn. And we were just like so loud, you know, like tiny little place, and we would just crank everything and just play all these covers and stuff, and that was a blast. I mean, we learned a lot. We learned how to play. We did a lot of those kind of gigs.
Sam was 14 at the time. I remember we had to really sneak him in. I guess he'd sneak me in too, because I would have been 16. Within that year, then we started to branch out, and we would kind of get some other gigs, and we started to play a little bit like in Baltimore and stuff like this. And so then the 4 days a week at New Windsor got a little bit less. It was a great thing to have a spot like that to play live at that age. You know, I mean, you could play 1,000 hours in the basement and not get that thing that you get from playing live. So it was pretty great of them to give us a chance to do that, give us a chance to learn that right up close and personal, right in the lion's den. The way that all came together was the three of us were sitting together watching The Last Waltz, which we watched quite a lot in those days. And it was just like, hey, let's see if Ronnie Hawkins has a website. And he did. And this was like early internet days, you know, modem, slow load speed. And there was an email. I said, well, let's email it. And so we did. And we said, you know, we're huge fans. We'd love to meet you someday if we can. And we actually got a response. And it was like, yeah, baby, come on up. Whatever you want. My wife has a bed and breakfast. So we were like, okay, let's go. That would have been around December. And we were so excited to do it. You know, we didn't really think about weather or shit like this, but the drive was through like an all-out blizzard. We got there in the early morning, like at 6, 7 a.m. We drove through the night. That was it. The three of us met Ronnie together the first time.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was like a whole experience. You know, we set up in his barn and played all the old Ronnie tunes, you know. And he did the whole thing. We ended up staying there, I think, about a couple weeks because it snowed, and we didn't leave when it was planned, but we ended up like we're shoveling, you know, shoveling snow for rounding off. We kept in touch over the years, and we've played together whenever possible, doing live gigs and stuff.
There was a period around, I think 2008, maybe 2009, that Sam and I moved back home, and Tim moved in with us there. And we were in West Virginia at the time, a place called Berkeley Springs, and so the three of us were playing together as a trio again at that time for like a year or so. And then Tim came up and toured with us a few times up here in Canada, and we recorded the album Baddest Band in the Land together. So he's on that. See, Tim's like a great musician on any instrument. These guys that you really hate, he played guitar, keys, percussion and stuff. But so we played together then. I think that album was from like 2011. This would be the first time since kind of then that we've done stuff together again.
This year's been kind of weird. It's, you know, it's like we were never in the same room to work out the material. It's like you normally work out stuff and then record the album. We sort of record it and then work the stuff out.
This idea to kind of try a song together over the miles, you know what I mean, and just send tracks. When that idea came, it's like, yeah, let's try it. And even from the first one that we did, that sort of musical, that natural musical connection created together, it was still there, even though we're not in the same room. Like, it sounds and feels like we are.
There's literally nothing that any of the three of us could do, arrangement-wise or musically or writing-wise, that the other one wouldn't understand or go with, you know? So, you know, if one of us comes up with something that is, you know, kind of out of left field, the other ones are able to take that and kind of roll with it and just kind of like make that be the best thing it can be. So I think, yeah, the players, the people involved, definitely make a big difference in how a song comes out.
Whatever idea I had, or Ryan had, or Tim had, just recorded it and then sent it away. Do whatever you want on this. Like, there was a definite high level of trust.
You know, I want whoever's listening to be able to kind of focus in on any particular thing and really be able to hear it, without everything sounding like, I want it to still have kind of a dynamic.
Even from the recording standpoint, I know one of the things we were trying to achieve was like capturing, you know, the similar kind of sound of those, you know, old records that we grew up loving. You know, like, how did he get that drum sound? How did he get this and this? And just going for certain vibes that way. Really something we set out to do, for sure.
I'm always hoping and aiming at paying worthy homage to all the greats, to so many of the greats. So if that's there, that's a part of me.
I was just talking to Sam about this, you know, we were just like, yeah, we gotta do figure out how to do like a cool like release show, do some other gigs around it.
album out in May, and then if you can tour again, then we would do that with Tim, like do something in the States and do something up in Canada too.
I don't care what it is. Just first gig, I'll be there.
We've been making music with Tim a long time, but we haven't for quite a while, so we're just really excited to share this thing. It'll be sweet.
Very excited about the whole thing, really.
It's a special thing just to hear music and to play with people you admire. It really is.